Hey guys, today originally I had planned to make a video talking more about the upcoming Journey Together set and its upcoming release. But with just the nature of Pokemon cards, and as you can see Twitter here, things come up. And especially today, this was a pretty big one that I think was definitely worth talking about and is much more important. So as you can see here, it appears there was a leak with distribution or something to where inside one of these little mini booster tins, I believe these are the ones that come with like 2 or 3 packs and a coin. Not sure if it's that specifically, but it's something like that. I think it's a mini tin is the specific product. But as you can see here, it came with a Destined Rivals Scarlet and Violet booster pack. Now, initially, when all of us see this, it's pretty quick to immediately assume that this may be Photoshop or maybe fake. But the purpose of today's video is to talk a bit more about that and how I actually believe that this leak is looking fairly legitimate with everything that's presented within it. Now, the source leak itself, and you can see I even have 2 different posts here. It seems to just be these 2 images. I've not seen anything else. But the other image here is also of an illustration rare of Kangaskhan. And you can see here it's that 204 out of 182. And I want you to take a look here. The DRIN, that's going to be the stamp for Destined Rivals English, is what that will stand for. Now, before we talk a little bit more about that illustration rare, let's talk a little bit more about the pack here too. So initially, it doesn't really look off. There's nothing too obvious that could make you think it's edited in. I mean, everything visually kind of lines up. You can see this crease here where it does seem to impact the logo too. Normally, you just see like a blue line here if it was an edit or scribbled in. But it was very clearly made to look fairly legitimate. We have a red shadow here too. Everything seems to line up. Now, if we scroll down, there's actually some pretty interesting replies on this thread where somebody went into Photoshop and actually checked the compression mapping of the pack itself when compared to just the tin sitting inside of here. And you may not be too familiar with what you're looking at here. But somebody had a pretty good reply sort of showing what it may look like if it were faked. So you can see here, this is the example fake on the right, and then this would be that original image on the left. And you can see the compression mapping will line up all of these colors and pixels to where you see a lot of very obvious blues and reds and greens sort of going through all of it. And there's really no distinct shadows or creases to where any of this would really line up with any of the original photo. And if you see here on the left, all the indents and everything else, it points to it actually being a packaged material and not just, a simple edit. And, I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about compression mapping and this sort of technology myself. But it's pretty obvious from this image showcase that this leak definitely has more than I think what a lot of us would initially expect. Now, this compression map part, this was just something on the side. I think the thing that's worth most talking about here with this leak, with these 2 images, is going to be the Kangaskhan illustration rare. Now, you'll see, again, I want to point out, you'll see that it has that Destined Rivals stamp and that out of 182. If some of you were observant and cross-checking other products in relation to this new Destined Rivals that we're getting, you'll actually see that this Metagross here, that is a part of that set, it has that same exact DRI English and that same out of 182 as well. So I thought this was definitely a pretty good tweet here. Not really many people had seen that or noticed that or pointed that out. I certainly thought that was pretty interesting too. You can see here 182, and you can see here 182. Now, as for whether or not I think this is definitively real and a legit leak, I do believe that to be the case. Just given everything here. Some of you may be asking, why didn't they take a video or record any of this? It was actually pretty smart of this person to take these two sort of nondescript pictures because if any of you are familiar with how Pokemon or the Pokemon Company International interacts with their IP and new leaks and new material, essentially, if they were to find the identity of this individual who, very clearly here was taking a picture, trying to show everyone, you can even see their silhouette right here. If they had gone about recording a video, it would much more likely tie them into finding this individual's identity and trying to find, okay, they tied to this or that. But I think this is much more obviously not a distribution league either. I generally think they just happened to open a booster tin and it just happened to have that Destined Rivals in it. That's what I'm assuming is happening. I'm going to link these tweets all in the description for you all, so you all are free to take a closer look at any of these and, sort of decide for yourself. But yeah, this is a pretty cool leak, guys. As for the pack art itself, obviously I think it's pretty cool. Matches pretty well with Scarlet and Violet. It looks pretty much exactly like how I imagined they might make it to look. And then obviously the Kangaskhan illustration rare with the Quagsire and everything. Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool there. So yeah, that was it for today's video, guys. I had planned to talk a little bit more about Journey Together. I'll probably end up doing that tomorrow unless we get, some more interesting news like this. But before I ended today's video, I did also want to mention, trust me, this is pretty important, you're going to want to know this, the super premium collections look like they're now starting to show up through major retailers as well. You can see here, this is a Discord that essentially has a bot which tracks any time these products are made available. And you can see here the prismatic SPC product did recently pop up on Target. Unfortunately, I did miss this as I was working at the time. But you guys definitely want to try to keep a keen eye out for that. If you're not sure what that Discord is, or sort of any of what I just pulled up, don't worry, I do plan to make a future video with more details about that too. But if any of you are interested right now on how you could go about getting inside of that Discord or seeing the same pings that I just pulled up, you should just be able to look up Pokemon Discord Rattle, and you should be able to find it that way. Again, Pokemon Discord Rattle. And this is a free community server. Essentially, once you join, you choose which pings you want, yada yada. Anyway, like I said, I'll make another separate video about that. But yeah, be on the lookout for this new prismatic SPC. And what are you guys' thoughts on this new set? Looks pretty cool, right? Kangaskhan looks pretty nice. Quagsire, everything looks pretty cool. Definitely pretty excited for it. I definitely plan to get, at the very least, a case of it. Thankfully, I was already able to snag a case of Journey Together as well. But yeah, anyways, like I said, I think tomorrow we'll probably talk more about Journey Together and just the overall market as well. But yeah, that was it for today. Thanks, guys.